to have a General Assembly. About the character of this movement. What it is now. And what it might become. So I'm going to give you. A few of my own reflections. And then there will be an open mic. For you to give yours. Right. So maybe you don't repeat just all of it now. You can do it at the end. Because we want as many voices as possible to be able to speak at this General Assembly. So this is what I was thinking. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. Right.
Helena, hold the microphone, touch your lips with it.
Like straight.
Right. When you've lived a long life. Right. Don't repeat it all now.
Like straight.
Okay. I love the human mic, but it might take too long.
We need the human mic. We need it for sound. We need the human mic.
When you've lived a long life, you'll find.
When you've lived a long life.
When you've lived a long life, you'll find that many years blur together. But I think that the year 2011 is a standout year.
Keep it in the background here.
For some of us who have been active on the left for many years, we've been asking, what would it take for people to rise up? There's been every reason for people to rise up. Every form of exploitation has flourished. Redistribution from below to above has intensified beyond anything we ever imagined. Transferring private debts into public ones has been an absolutely stunning move. Financial capital has attacked not only the lives and livelihood of the working people of the world, but even industrial capital. Industrial capital at least produces something. Hedge funds, short selling, and such financial instruments produce nothing and take everything. They are parasitic upon the only real sources of wealth, natural resources and human labor. They contribute nothing. How could people take this? How could they allow the 1% to rob and rule the 99%? Why has such stepped-up class struggle from above not been met by class struggle from below? 2011 has been the year when vast numbers of people came out and said no. They have come out and we have come out to take back the world that they've stolen from us. From Tunisia to Egypt to Spain to Chile to the USA and many places in between. Now here. Iceland and Greece, of course, were already out in front, shaming us, but not now. We're on the streets and squares of almost 1,000 cities in 82 countries on 6 continents today. There is something happening here.
I'm a Dublin man, mate.
Most of these are new people. That is, people new to protest. Although the old ones, waiting and working for this to happen, are part of it too. So we're here at this International Day of Solidarity of this new global movement. this movement of the indignant, this Occupy Together movement. Here we are at Occupy Dublin, Occupy Dame Street. The immediate impetus has been Occupy Wall Street. It spread like wildfire. Main Street stood up to Wall Street. They elected Obama to do that, by the way, but no sooner was he elected than he collapsed under the power of Wall Street and betrayed Main Street. I've been particularly buoyed up by Occupy Philadelphia, the place where my life of protest began. It's been quiescent for a very long time. My New Left friends were doing all these years progressive work as best they could, but with no sense of a movement behind them. They have now, and we have now. It's been so powerful to see so many people coming together and to hear them assert over and over, this is what democracy looks like. We are the 99%. We're awake now. People have woken up to the fact that there are so many more of us than there are of them. And they've asked, how are they so powerful? And how are we so powerless? How are the few so extravagantly wealthy, while so many of us are so abjectly poor? People are stepping up to the G8 as the G7 billion and saying, it's our world and we intend to take it back now. Woo! So here we are, all over the world, occupying spaces and making demands. There's been much focus on occupations and demands. Yes, this is about occupations and demands on one level, but it is not reducible to occupations and demands. Will this occupation of itself result in the IMF getting out of our affairs, in the removal of private debts from public encumbrance, in the refusal to pay bondholders at the expense of our health, education and welfare, in taking back our oil and gas reserves for our own purposes? If it does, great. But I don't think that it's as simple as that. I think this is part of a more complex process, a more protracted and difficult struggle. But it's a struggle that we have begun. These occupations have opened new spaces, literally as well as metaphorically. They have created a new dynamic in this struggle. They have transformed the terrain, physically here in Dame Street, but psychologically and politically as well. How? First of all, we have transformed ourselves. We have become the change we want to see. Those of you who have stepped up for the first time can never be the same again. You have discovered something new in yourself. You have lived in a new way during these days. You have food, shelter, culture, knowledge have been given and received freely in a way that is beyond the circuitry of commodification. True. This is participatory democracy, an experiment in the sort of society we want to create. We don't want an experiment. It is building the new in the shell of the old. Those who have been involved in other projects, even those of us who have been politically active for many years, we have changed too. We have become part of something new, something bigger. We have formed new relationships and have become part of the texture of each other's lives. The bonds forged in common struggle are, in my experience, the strongest bonds of all.
Yo, yo, yo.
We are part of a new movement now. We have committed to each other. We have come to feel the world is on the move again in a way that's hopeful. The years without that have been a hard test of our resolve. We are confronting the most formidable force ever in the whole history of the world. We really don't know how to take power from the 1% for the 99%. It's not like the old days of industrial capital, where those who worked in the mines and lived in hovels, and then there was the mine owner who organized production and lived in a big house. And the mechanisms of exploitation and expropriation were clear. How to expropriate the expropriators now? We're trying to figure that out. We don't quite know how to unravel the structures of political and economic power that exist today. They are so complex and out of control.
Big time.
That is why we've organized Occupy University here as part of Occupy Dublin. That is why progressive and thoughtful intellectual activity has stepped up all over the world. Actually, it's been almost impossible to keep up with all the interesting and provocative writing that has been sparked off by all of this. All over the world, we've created a new sense of possibility, a new energy to address power and to act upon it. Occupations alone will not do it, but they can be the impetus to do what needs to be done to take back the world they have stolen from us. Because we are the 99%.
We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%.
Can I say something, please?
Now,
Please, one thing. Last night, Riot Police forcibly disbanded the Denver Occupy camp. That was early last night. They forcibly disbanded the Occupy Denver camp. Those people did not go home. They stayed there throughout the night. They were there this morning. They are still there now. They will reoccupy. We are not going home. We are the 99%.
We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%.
One more thing as well, please.